And welcome back to the Crypto Hulk Show. We have a really good program lined up for today. I did some homework yesterday, just a little, and I got the show open for the $10 people. It's going to go to the $5 after that, and then to the free show. There's two cryptos. We've talked about them before. I'm going to show you with the evidence how massive these two cryptos are going to be, the Canton Network and the Crypto Rise. What I'm about to show you today with evidence is how one of the world's largest banks, how our United States, and I won't say government, how I won't say the British, and I won't say government, how I won't say the Singapore, and I won't say government, how I won't say secret and I won't say laboratories in the United States are working on the future of money. And these two cryptos are it. But first, my name is Crypto Hawk. I'm not a financial advisor, not a crypto advisor, none of the above. I don't know anything about crypto. I don't know anything about finances. If I do know anything about finances, it's about how me and Zoltar and Chucky call up Zoltar's hooker drug addict girlfriend, and she brings over drugs in an Uber, and we smoke them, snort them, eat them, and everything daily for 5.5 years. It's all we do on this show. Anytime you've gotten any kind of what you think is financial advice, a phone call for me, whatever, I don't know anything what I'm talking about. This is the worst fucking channel you could ever watch for any kind of anything, so just stop watching it. The whole show is a lie. I don't do any kind of deep dive whatsoever. This is all just speculative information. Okay. Now that we got the important stuff out of the way. Roselle, welcome to the entry level membership. You are welcome to the best crypto channel. What do you seek? Zoltar is here. Oh my God, these people are really doing too much with all the Zoltar shit. Okay. I don't know how to put it. Okay, I got good news and bad news. I'm not here to be a cheerleader. I'm here to be an investigator, and then I report the facts as I find them. Zoltar's the fortune teller. That's not me. The good news and bad news. Okay, all right. There's a video. Let me see if I can post it to my show. Boy, Jave, there's a video on my show. Crypto Hook, you're actually getting pretty good at that British thing you're doing. No, you're not. Shut up. Let me see if I got it. Okay.
The United States government owes.
There's a 5-minute video. I just posted it right there. This video that I just posted, watch it after the show, and that's faux show. When I just posted this video, I'm telling you what, you guys should have got gold when I got gold at $2,000 a coin. It only doubled, and it's only going to double and triple even more. Okay, I'm trying to put this in a way. What's going to happen is what happened in the past. In 1933, the United States switched to a gold standard. Money was backed by gold. And at that point, gold was like $20 an ounce. I think the dollar bill, if you had, yeah, that's right. It was $20. If you had $20, you could buy a whole ounce of gold in the old days. Now, what happened in 1933 is we went into a gold standard. Now, I don't know if they're going to do this again. No one's taking my fucking gold. I'm just letting you know. just the way that I am. Zero fucks given, shit like that. It's just how I live. You've got to have conviction about what you want to do. You've got to see it in your subconscious. You've got to live it and believe it and dream it and feel it. And that's just how I live my life. I don't care what the reality shows. I don't care what laws are, whatever, it's just, this is just what I do. Don't copy me. What happened is they flipped everything and the money became worthless. The money in the United States became worthless. The government revalued gold. It went from $20 an ounce to like 35. The dollar went off. Well, it went on a gold standard to give it value, but then they went off the gold standard in 71. This is where I'm getting at. And the goal was to destroy the value of the dollar so they can bring on in what I believe is a new form of currency. They had a standard drawing rights after World War II and SDR. That was like the world money. That shit didn't work. So at one point, they knew they had to crush the money system that we have because the dollar backed with gold was stable. In 1971 or 2 or 3, whatever, Nixon went off the gold standard. That's when the end of the dollar as we know it started to happen. It took them about 50 years, 54 years or whatever. And we've now gotten to a point where the dollar is almost worthless. I knew this a couple of years ago. That's why I bought all this gold. Well, I've been buying gold for 4 years, but I just started to dump into gold 2 years ago and said, I'm done. I got all the gold I'm going to need because this shit is going to fucking go ballistic. We're at a point now where I think it's pretty clear. Everybody understands now. Well, at least, and if you don't, God help you. But you should realize by now the paper dollar is at the very end. If you hold a lot of paper dollars, not good for you. Generally, it's these older people. I know some people got $250,000 in cash in the bank, and then the wife has another $150,000, $200,000 in cash in the bank. I'm just like, fucking dumb. They're going to get destroyed. What's happening is Canton Coin and Rise are going to be the subject of what we're going to talk about right here. You've got one of the world's biggest banks creating a new form of money that every government's going to copy. I believe just like in 1933 when gold went from 20 to 35 bucks an ounce, I believe now gold's going to go from 4,100 bucks an ounce to, I said, 10 to 15,000 5 years ago is what I believe it's going to do. And this is just like I don't know where this comes from. Well, yeah, I do. But I'm not trying to get hocus pocus on you. But 5.5 years ago, feelings and thoughts and like visions, lions and tigers and bears, oh my. But these visions and stuff I started seeing stuff and it was telling me gold. That's why I had at one point more gold. Now I think it's coming back again because the crypto prices have dumped. But I used to have like for every $1 in crypto, $8 in gold. I was like the only YouTuber out there talking about XRP and cryptos and shit with that much of a ratio. These other people, they had a little, oh yeah, go to this and buy the gold card or whatever that fucking shit was. I was telling you, go out and buy a coin and shit, and I got 8 times. Well, today's program, we're going to show you how gold, it's going to be so valuable. They're going to reevaluate, just like they did in 1933. They're going to do this shit again. I'm just letting you know, Crypto Hulk, should I buy gold? Well, it's kind of late now, but again, it's $4,000 now, and it's going to go up, I think, $12,000, $15,000, $30,000. I don't know. I know it's going to hit 10, 15 grand, somewhere in there. Pretty confident of that. But it could go up. We're going to go over today what is going on with HSBC. I want to show you what's happening. Gold. See, the reason I got the gold is because I want you to imagine this. Okay, I talked to a guy yesterday, multimillionaire and shit or whatever. I don't think he has any gold. And I'm just like, oh God, no. But I don't want to argue with people, but it's like these people got so many fucking this coin and that coin and the other that they don't like, how much gold do you have in your hand? Not on a card, not an investment account, in your fucking hand. That's what's up, okay? I'm going to go over right now, HSBC. I'm going to tell you what, they've got a quantum computer. There's secret government laboratories working. This is a deep dive for you. And I know I'm kind of running late. I'm talking here, but we're going to get into some work. I want you to mentally, I try to make it as easy as possible. I've got probably like 3 pages of notes. Boy, Jay, there's page 1. This is how professional I am. I just put it in note form. I've got 5, 6, 7 pages on a computer of deep dive. I turned all that into these 3 short pages. So thank me that we're not here for 3 hours going over this shit. It took me a long time to come up with this. What I do is I take a lot of like metadata, if you want to call it that, and just crunch it down into like a good form that people can understand. Some of these people, what is fuck? Hold on a minute. Okay, you have to transfer your USDC that is on Ethereum and put it on Base. So some of you right now have USDC. If you look in the little bottom corner, you'll see this guy that just texted me. I'm sure he's brand new and he doesn't know. He has USDC, but if you look down at the bottom, it's on Ethereum. You can't buy Rise with it like that. So what you got to do is when you do the convert button, you have the USDC and Ethereum at the top of, we're talking MetaMask, go below, right below it to the next currency, push that, go up to the top of the screen, find Base Network, push that, and then turn it into Rise. Type in the word Rise, and that's how you transfer it. So what, as a new person on Crypto Hawk channel, you need to be calling me. This kind of shit that this person just asked is super basic stuff. Like the most fun, like if you don't know that, you're going to get wrecked. So what my job is to do in the $500 club is to help teach you things that will help you do shit fast. Because if you don't know how to do stuff fast, you're going to lose out fast. Okay. It's not just about, look, you can't be a fucking chimp. Just get some kind of text. And a lot of people think when they become a $500 member, if I'm not going to have to learn anything at all. I just get a text and make money. That shit ain't going to happen. You're going to get fucking wrecked. Okay. If you don't have the desire to learn and the ability and the time to do it, you're not going to make money. Okay. If you get the texts I have and learn what I have, you're pulling at least 500 a week. I just made $600 the other day. That was just on one trade just this week. I probably made about $900 this week. Okay. I'm not a hardcore heavy trader. All right. What I want to let you know, okay, now I'm just going to tell you, if you don't have at least 30%, 25 to 30% of all your crypto, get the value of that and put it into gold. That's fucking stupid. All right. I'd even go to say half your crypto and half gold. That's where your money ought to be, like those ratios. But some of you guys I just want to have all this crypto. Because look, it's not, some people are in this mindset, and here's what I'm trying to teach you. It's not how much crypto you have. Because look, think of it like this. if all this shit were to go bad with crypto, what do you got left? See, with me, I got a lot of gold. I'm good. If gold goes up 2 to 3 times and crypto just goes to zero, I'm going to have a great life. Can you say that? No. Because what you're doing is you're thinking, well, if I just get 1 million tokens, well, if I just get 5 million of these tokens, what if you get wiped out? Get out of the mindset. See, here's my mindset. If you're right, you're going to be way richer than me. But if I'm right, you're going to be fucking broke. See how this works? Oh, shit. See how that goes? Let's say you're right and you make $100 million and I only make 20. Okay. I got 20 million bucks. I could live a nice life on 20 million. But let's flip the tables now. Let's say I'm right and you're wrong. You've got nothing. And I got maybe, I don't know, $1 million in gold or something, right? So you got to make your decision. What I'm going to read to you here is how the world's largest bank, government, secret laboratories, and the government of Singapore and the British government is working on tokenizing crypto with gold, locking it up with quantum secure. They've already got this quantum computer. That's all the secret stuff going on. We're going to talk about the company Quantium that's doing it. It's like a SEAL's Q, but they've already have quantum protection for the gold in the future. So they know what's coming. They know they have a quantum computer that's locking up the gold, protecting Ethereum and Bitcoin code and stuff. So here we go. HSBC, due to launch an expansion of its tokenized deposit services. Global banking giant digitize assets and payments. All these top executives and giants and veterans of distributed ledger technology, tokenization of the payment world. This is what's happening. They've got these top executives at HSBC that are the best. They've been in work for 20, 30 years with traditional finance. They've blended their skills with crypto, blockchain, fintech, all these little fancy terms. And now they're transforming the world of value to have gold-backed cryptocurrencies that's quantum safe, that will not be hacked. And they're doing this with the cooperation of Honeywell. And I'll name off some of these secret laboratories and stuff. The government's all this whole, let me repeat again, like I said 5.5 years ago, all this crypto shit is the government. Ripple is the government. I've already shown you all this. It's said on the Ripple website, government contractor, subcontractor, and then they took that down the next day. I pointed that out, and Ripple took that off the website. This whole thing where I want to go to the Ripple conference and go Ripple, be a cheerleader. Dude, you're so fucking stupid, because Ripple and all this crypto shit is the government. You're a cheerleader for a government system that's going to make you a slave, okay? I'm just letting you know. All these dumb shits out there. I want to be part of the Ripple family or the XRP. It's not a fucking family. It's a slave family, you dumbass. So what we got going on here is there was this project, if you remember, called Project Orion. There's all kinds of project this, project that, okay? All these central bank projects. What was all that? They're changing the way that we see, use, hold money and all that, controlling it under blockchain, supervising it. All this is changing. And if you don't have gold as like, I'm going to say half your fucking money, it's not going to end well for you. That's what I truly believe. Project or Orion is involved. You got HBAR cryptos involved in that. Ethereum Polygon is also involved. The Ant Financial, this is all Chinese, like Alibaba. Like if you go on to Crypto Hulk Show, let's go onto my channel. go under my post section. Let me go right here. Post section. Now, if you scroll down, you'll see the Ripple timeline. Let me spend a little time to look for that thing. Got the metal network in there. We'll take it back to about, I think that's it right there. We take it back 3 months ago. Let me look at what I got. Yep, here it is right here. Okay. Now, in this report, we've got Ant Financial all over this crypto coin that HSBC is backing with gold in the United States secret laboratories and stuff. If you look right here, you got the Ripple China timeline. We can see that in 2013, the Ripple China. Are you hearing me what I'm saying with Ripple China? Brand new people. This government, this is what crypto is. I'm trying to show you. These people are talking about, I want to be in the part of the XRP family. I'm just like, oh God, you're so fucking stupid. Those people are, it's so sad how lonely some people get. They just want to join something that think that they have friends. All you have is a bunch of confused, delusional adults, usually in their 40s and 50s, that are trying to be something bigger than themselves. And they're joining a bunch of fucking retards. You've got June 2013. The Ripple China Trading Center was launched. And users recharge through what? Alipay and TenPay. What is this? Well, first off, we already got Ripple and China hooking up. That's the government, everybody. Let's not pretend these little Brad Garlinghouse and all these people at Ripple, they're all fucking government agents. Whether they know it or not, maybe unknowingly, they're working for the government as some kind of contractor through some employment agency, and they have no idea. Maybe some of them know that they're working on a bigger plan than... But anyhow, you got Alipay, which no one even knows is a Ripple partner except this channel, okay? Here's the evidence right here. This channel is the authority on certain subjects because nobody else has the evidence except Crypto Hulk channel. It's just a fact. It's not bragging when you're just stating facts, okay? And that's all that I'm doing is stating facts on my channel. Here you have Alipay, which is Alibaba, and you have TenPay, which is Tencent. These are like perhaps two of the biggest companies of the entire world, owned at least 50 to 100% by the Chinese government, okay? Now, I showed you that evidence there. So let's continue. So you got the Ant Financial and the Ripple timeline I just showed you because those two entities, Alibaba and Tencent, they're involved in Ripple and crypto and all this stuff. Think about this. This is 2013. From day one, if Ripple, let's try to use some constructive logic here. If Ripple is, in fact, a true startup company, then how does that company make a deal with the Chinese government and not go to jail in the United States? See what I mean? When you start logically breaking down what's happening, stop with the name calling. Stop with the whatever. Look at what Crypto Hulk has, which is facts. Let's stop the ad hominem, that dumb shit. Start thinking. Use constructive thinking. Use facts when talking to me, okay? Let's stop with the name like, oh, Crypto Hulk shilling. Okay, let's talk facts. How does a startup company, if you want to call Ripple that, how do they get hooked up with the Chinese government? That's just not possible, everybody. That means if you believe that, you're delusional. Ripple would have to go through Department of Defense and all these things, and How does a startup company have all this power that in 2000, like they launch in 2012 or 13, and there's already a Ripple China, Ripple Russia, Ripple in India? How the fuck does all that happen? Because Ripple and all these crypto companies, they're the government developing a monetary system to enslave the whole planet. That's how that happens. And I'm using evidence to make my points right here. These are not opinions. Obviously, I'm showing evidence. Ripple and or Medico is mentioned many. Okay, now in this deep dive that I did, we have Ripple and Medico. Medico is a custody company. Let's look that up real quick. Medico. This is for brand new people that have no idea what I'm talking about, or if you have one of your friends want to watch my program for some strange reason, you'd want that. But if you want a friend who deals with facts, then this is the channel to bring them to, because I will show you with fact-based evidence here. So there's the article on Medico. Medico, I'm not going to show you. I've got way more evidence than this. Medico is a Swiss company that a German tech company bought. That's like just second to rent. They've been around for, I don't know, close to 200 years or something. They're a tech company, and they bought Medico, and then eventually somehow Ripple gets a hold of it, and makes no sense at all to me. But this is all the government. So in this Hong Kong-based HSBC, you've got Ripple and Medico are referred to many times in this about payments and custody. So we know Ripple's heavily involved in all this gold stuff, which leads me to show you from Crypto Hulk channel, which nobody else has on the planet. There's a thing called Ripple Singapore. And let's take a look here if I could find it. Yep. Ripple. Wait a second. There we go. I'm just going to get into it real quick. Okay. I'm not going to do a deep dive on the Ripple Singapore. I've done it like, I don't know, 300 times already. Let's go copy and a paste. So Ripple, which is the government, Ripple's like a government project. If you look here, you got Ripple Singapore, gold and silver. They're talking about wallets. Okay, this is Singapore 2013, 14. This whole thing started. Ripple is the government, and they made this thing. They're showing you about gold and silver already with crypto. I want you to see where all this is going. The importance of gold and silver and crypto. It's not just, I'm going to buy a bunch of crypto. The more crypto I buy, I'm going to be rich. That will get you destroyed. I'm just letting you know. If you don't have a minimum of 30% of all your value in crypto, you're going to get fucked, okay? Just letting you know. I know that's not a popular thing to say. This show doesn't care. It really, at this point of being so shadow banned and this, I just don't care anymore. I'm just going to say what the truth is, like I've always done, and just keep going. If you don't have at least half your value in crypto, if something, see, these people are, you guys are just in this belief that if I just buy more and more and more and more and more crypto, that's so fucking stupid. Because what I'm showing you here, they're having the whole system built on gold-backed coins, and then there's going to be certain tokenized cryptos that they use. I don't even know if we'll be allowed to keep them. Oh, I don't even know if they're going to allow us to keep gold. They made it illegal in 1933. I'm just mentally getting you ready for shit that you might have to do. Maybe the government says you can't have gold. I'm not telling you what I'm going to do, okay? I can't tell you legally what I'm going to do. I'll have to let you have that with your imagination. Now, you, if the government says 10 years in jail and $1 million fine if you keep your crypto or gold, hey, you got to do what you do. I already know what I'm going to do. Now I have a friend who won't be in the country. He'll be in another one. And I'll leave it at that. And everything's going to work out for my friend. Okay. I'll have to tag along if I can. But I don't know who this friend is. I forgot his name. Now, with this HSBC and the gold and the tokens and stuff, you got BNY Mellon. Franklin Templeton is right there. We've gone over an article already. Here it is right here. The Franklin Templeton is all up in the Canton Network. So if you don't got Canton Network, you're fucked, okay? Just letting you know. This, now remember, I talk about a lot of cryptos on this show. But right here, what we're looking at is these are the ones that are massively, every crypto on my show is important, but this one is going to be massively important. You got basically the top banks in the world working with this HSBC Canton Network, and the RISE token is going to be the one that tokenizes everything. Let me continue because this thing is, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. You got the Canton Network, you got Archax, ARCHAX. They're all mixed up in this massive Ripple partner, okay? You got BlackRock who's involved in this. And they got connections again to Ondo, which uses Axelar, which is Ripple. Okay. So these are all connected in here. I'm going to say not the Ondo, but the Axelar with the Ripple partner, because Axelar is a bridge. Now they're expanding. Now, this program is scheduled for January. Micah Ward, stocks on sale too. Yeah, I guess stock prices are dumping. Now's the time to get a loan and to get all this shit for cheap. Because I'm showing you fundamental news. I don't care about prices. The only thing I care about prices is when I get paid each month, I buy. That's what I care about. Otherwise, let them drop. I don't care how low they drop. I'll get all this shit for free. That's how my mind's set up. I'm not trying to get rich tomorrow. I've been here for 5.5 years. I can wait another 3 years if I have to or whatever. I'm going to have fun all the way on this trip. And these people are at the top are like, how does this motherfucker still stay motivated after 5.5 years? We've shadow banned his channel. We make it to where people can't put a like on there. We blocked this, and this motherfucker's still going. That's how, you know why I cold plunge? Because I go through fucking pain. Let me get back to this. Now, this program is going to expand from Hong Kong. Right now, all this HSBC shit is all in Hong Kong and this Asia area. It's coming to the United States. When? January, February, or March of 2026. It's going to begin a global expansion January, February, or March, somewhere in there. They're going to start launching this to different countries. This gold-backed money. It's gold-backed crypto, okay? They're going to have a new form of money. I really see. Yeah, let me continue. There's going to be programmable autonomous treasury. So AI comes into this. You're going to have the United Kingdom, European Union. You're going to have trials on Hedera. Oh, shit. So Hedera's involved in this at 14 cents. I'm telling you, get a fucking loan. I'm showing you right now, Grok. This information's from Grok. I'm showing you now what is going to, it's not if Hedera goes up in price, it's when. And right now, all this stuff's it's getting all set up. I honestly don't know how all this crypto's dumping. I'm showing you right now what is going to happen and what cryptos are going to be used. Look at it as a Christmas gift. You're getting to know what your presents are going to be for Christmas, and the prices are super cheap, okay? You got program payments cross-border transfers, tokenization of gold, of bonds, and of funds for fractional ownership. You have quantum secure tech assets like real estate. Next, you have HSBC tokenization is driven by traditional finance and banking executives. It says they're pivoting heavily. I want you to watch this. They're pivoting. Grok is saying that these financial people at the top are pivoting heavily away from traditional finance stuff into regulated blockchain. Oh, regulations are coming in 26, everybody. You need to get all set up and be ready. Get your crypto now, not later, because later it might just take off, or maybe they shut down. Maybe they shut down your opportunities to buy. How about that? Oh shit, they locked all the exchanges up. Maybe all you can do is like sell off or whatever it is, but you can't keep buying. You can maybe transfer to another wallet, and I don't know. But have your backup ready. Now, who are the people working on? I want you to see these banking executives. Who are they and what are they working on? I want you to listen to this. Number one, Noelle Quinn. In 2024, she oversaw, listen to this, retail, so that's people like you and me, retail tokenized gold in Hong Kong. Now, we know there's Ripple Hong Kong. I'm not going to get into showing that picture. I've shown it yesterday. There's Ripple Hong Kong. I want you to see all these connections. That's why I told you something. Early Ripple partners take off first. But Crypto Hong, why are you always showing us stuff from 2013 and 14 and 15? That's all 12 years ago stuff. Because, dumbass, let me tell you again why. Early, if you know the early Ripple partners, they take off first. If you know that Turkey is an early Ripple partner, you'll probably want to buy their money, possibly, because if they decide to gold back that money with a token, like I'm not into, I'll stick to this crypto here in this article, but these countries that are early Ripple partners, they're going to take off first. Singapore, Hong Kong, Turkey, Indonesia, and others, Philippines. So this executive, Noelle Quinn, has already worked on a retail tokenized gold in Hong Kong. The next HSB executive, John O'Neill. John O'Neill tokenized, that's with a D, past tense. John O'Neill tokenized, meaning all done, physical gold from when 2023 to 2025. Remember, they're rolling this out January, February, or March, somewhere in there. I don't quite know, of 2026. They're already done tokenizing this gold coin. They're going to roll it out in the first quarter of 2026. That's what I'm trying to show you. This is already done, okay? They're waiting on regulations globally. I just went over yesterday about how the United States gave the banks, the OCC gave the banks a green light to start carrying the crypto for testing and gas fees. Yeah, okay, sure. That's where it ends up. That's where it ends up. Okay. John O'Neill tokenized physical gold from 2023 to 2025 and digital asset custody with Medico. That's Ripple. Whoa. Now, if we take it all the way back and I showed you Ripple Singapore and they had gold vaults, I went over all this 3 years ago and I told you 3 years ago with evidence, and we could do the show again. I still got the website to go to. I showed you over like 3 years ago that Ripple is going to have gold-backed crypto. I told you that Ripple is going to have wallets they're going to release to everybody, and I showed you the article. It wasn't just my opinion; it was with proof, with evidence. I said they already have Ripple Singapore. They already had like stock, bonds, derivatives kind of things, gold, silver, wallets and shit, interchangeability. All this shit was already done. 3 years ago, I'm showing you with evidence, the webpage. Then you throw in Medico for custody. That's Ripple. Ripple owns Medico. Let's go back here. John O'Neill. So let's continue with John O'Neill from HSBC. He's involved with Quantum Secure. That means already done. They already know what's going to happen. This quantum computer is going to roll out. They already know. That's why this project, think about this. They already have, when you got all this gold. Oh, let me tell you something. Over the past 5 years, banks and central banks around the world have been setting records on how much gold they're buying. That's why Crypto Hulk spent all this money. I took out a loan for 4 credit cards. I showed you too. This was about 1.5 years ago. I told everybody I'm maxing out 4 cards, and I showed them on my program. I'd hold up the 4 credit cards, say these 4 are maxed out, and bought gold. While you were off buying crypto, I'm like, buy gold. And gold went from 2,000 per coin to probably now, if you get a gold coin, you're lucky to get it for about $4,400. My gold coin went from $2,000 to $4,400 each one. And it's going to go way up more than that. The dumb people on my channel were like, oh, you should have been buying all, think how much crypto you should buy. I'm like, dude, you have no fucking clue. If you were that smart, you'd have your own fucking channel. I see shit before it happens, all right? I see the trends. I watch close what all these banks and all these fucking criminals do, and I copy what they do. I started seeing all these central banks buying gold like crazy. Fuck it, I'm buying gold like crazy. I don't care what they say. I watch what they do, and I copy these motherfuckers, okay? These banks are setting records on buying gold. I'm going to set a record in buying gold. So, John O'Neill continued, quantum secure tokenized gold trials with a company. So they had gold trials and they tokenized shit. They tested it. They did this with a company called Quantinium. Quantinium, and who? The Bank of International Settlements. And guess what? Ripple's a partner of that, okay? Now, you can't buy stock in Quantinium because it's a private company. And from what I understand, it's worth like $6 or $12 billion. Now, where does Quantinium get their money? From big companies, but these big companies, they're all government contractors. I want you to see how this works. One of them being Honeywell. So how does it work, Crypto Hulk? Okay. Honeywell is a massive government contractor. There's more than, there's like 10, 20, 30 companies. What happens is Honeywell wants to design whatever it might be, okay? And they go to the government and say, hey, we got this cool heat exchanger for a space shuttle. It's probably going to cost us $100 million to make it. So give us $100 million and we'll make a heat exchanger for a space shuttle, which was really what they did. I know a guy that worked on that project, so he told me how it goes. I'm only telling you from firsthand experience. So this guy told me, yeah, I'm working on a heat exchanger for the space shuttle, so when the metal gets hot, we can cool it off. And I'm like, oh. He graduated from Berkeley. He was an electrical engineer, has a degree. He was a meek, whatever they call them, meeks or whatever. Meek. Mechanical engineer. He was a mechanical engineer. That's right. And, but anyhow, that's how it works. So the government would give Honeywell, and if Honeywell says, yeah, it'll cost us $100 million, the government would be like, we'll give you 120. Give some to Quantinium. So Honeywell takes 100, shoots 20 million over to Quantinium. That's how this Quantinium makes their money, okay? The next guy at HSBC, his name is James Chio. He's expertise in integrating Oh, real world assets into portfolios, like fractional gold. I'm telling you, this gold keeps coming up in this deep dive, okay? They're not using Seals Q, but they're using something called crystals kyber dilithium, and there is no crypto for that. There is another crypto that sounds almost identical to it. That's not the same one. Do not buy it. Now there's tech. The tech they're using is an ERC20 interoperability for gold token. There is an HSBC gold token. See, now Seals Q, Seals Q is focused on post-quantum secure semiconductors for IoT, Internet of Things, and blockchain wallets and PKI. Now, the HSBC Quantinium pilot is software and a crypto layer for PQC algorithms and QRNG from Quantinium. It's a private company. Yeah, I bet it's a private company. You got HSBC Gold Token runs on Orion. That is a permissioned distributed ledger technology with ERC bridges. And I'll bet you one of those bridges is Axelar. Now we've got Quantinium. Let's learn about Quantinium. We now know that HSBC and all the top executives have already tested gold tokenization. They've got custody with Medico. They got all the top banks in the world involved in this. Now, we know that banks don't innovate. So HSBC, which is basically kind of like China, needs technology. The bank needs technology. So where do they go? Quantinium. So let's do a little deeper. Here's what starts getting even more interesting is what is Quantinium? I'm going to have to be very careful here. I have not deep dive all these secret agencies in their work with whatever, because I'm not trying to get in trouble. So I'm going to tell you the name of these secret agencies. But I'm not getting into deep diving who are the employees. That's just, you can do that on your own and have government officials show up at your door, not mine. Quantinium, a leading quantum computing company formed from a merger of Honeywell and Cambridge. Oh. Cambridge Quantum Computing. They will have listen to this, Notice 2030. That's enough. I hate to say it, but partly back in my head, I think that's when shit really takes off. At the worst case scenario is 2030. They will have a fault tolerant system by 2030. Now, with Quantinium, they have heavy British government involvement. And I'm thinking, am I, and I can't say 6, okay? Kind of like James Bond kind of shit. That's who's involved here, all right? I can't mention names. They have Intel Corporation involved. You got X Lockheed Martin and X Air Force, and I can't say research, and I can't say lab people involved. There's X, and I can't say NASA. And there's also a company called NVIDIA, the microchip, and a company, a government kind of agency called DARPA. I can't say that word DARPA good. That's massive right there. Now, we know that NASA was involved. I could say that. I think that might be a safe word. Let me see if I could find the Ripple Meet the Team. Give me a minute. Let me scroll this way down. If I can't find it quickly, then you'll just have to. I've shown it before a long time ago. Okay, here we go. Where are we at? Where is that Ripple shit at? There it is, 23. Okay, I want you to go to the 19-second mark. 19-second mark. Let me do a copy and a paste. I try to, if I can show you evidence that I can pull up quickly, but I don't need to show every single piece of evidence. I've shown so many over the years. Okay, go to the 19-second mark with what I just showed you. What do we have? We have an official Ripple Labs Meet the Team. This is like 2014. And look who's right there, NASA. There you go. There's your evidence. So NASA is all mixed up in this. Let's go right here. Yeah, ex-NASA, ex-Air Force. I can't say research, and I can't say lab. Ex-Lockheed Martin, DARPA. Oh, my God. Let's keep going here. What they've demonstrated was Quantinium, this company, has demonstrated Bitcoin and Ethereum hardened keys. They've hardened the keys of Bitcoin and Ethereum to protect against a quantum attack. So that's what I found interesting is they've already protected Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's why Ethereum, I think Ethereum is a government project they're holding on to for dear life. And so is Bitcoin. It's a government project because they're specifically mentioned here. These research labs have designed a quantum way to harden the keys of Bitcoin and Ethereum so they cannot be quantumly taken over. What we have here, according to Grok, is ongoing DARPA quantum benchmarking. I don't know what that means, but it's pretty serious. You have DARPA contractor. It's called Quantum Benchmarking. That's the name of the company, I believe. You could look that one up on your own. I'm not touching that one. Then you have the National Labs. It's a company called Argonne, ARGONNE. I'm not looking them up. It's going to get me into trouble, but you could look them up. You got a secret government laboratory called Oak Ridge, OAK, put a space, and then Ridge, RIDGE. I'm not talking about that one either. Next, you got the Singapore government. Listen to this now. Singapore government's involved, just like Ripple Singapore. They were there from day one, everybody. Still been there. You have the Singapore National Quantum Office. And then we happen to have a company called Qatar, like the country of Qatar, JV, whatever that means. So you have like the Saudis mixed up in this. Now, the HSBC token is physical gold. It's stored in an HSBC London vault. Fractional ownership up to 0.001 troy ounce. The platform is called HSBC Orion. It's a proprietary distributed ledger. Orion uses Canton Network. Oh, love it. If you got Canton Network coin, I got mine on Kraken. I love hearing this. I'm going to be so rich off that shit. This Canton Network will be 24/7 gold trading. It targets retail, that's us, but targets retail investors in Asia and institutions also for public trading. It's a bank custody controlled wealth management program. Now, the Rise crypto is the one going to tokenize it. We've already talked about Rise. The Rise crypto is the one that is the tokenizing agent for Canton Network. You can look that one up on a Grok search. I'm not going to get into that right now. I've already done a whole show on Rise about a week or two ago. Now, it's an HSBC platform built on top of the Canton Network, utilizing Medico, which is owned by Ripple, for custody, and it's quantum proof protected by using all these government laboratories. That is your deep dive for the two coins that are going to be used, and the tokenization that that HSBC has already done. You don't have a contract address for Canton coin. You have to buy it on an exchange. There is no contract address. So you have to go to like Kraken. You can there's other exchanges it's on, but I know 100% it's on Kraken. Don't get scammed and buy it somewhere else, please. Just go to Kraken and buy it, and then you know it's real. Alrighty then. Now, so here's now we're going to go over the article. Now I showed you all the background, all the government sneaky shit that's going on. I showed you that in the first quarter of 2026, they're rolling it out. They're rolling it out. All these banks around the world. I showed you with evidence what's happening. Now let's look at the article that started all this. HSBC makes big bets on blockchain with tokenization expansion. So here's an article that just came out yesterday. Now, I did all the deep dive. I showed you all those little secret government connections and all these things. Here's the article everybody reads, okay? HSBC is reportedly, they're so in deep with this after what we read, like, oh my God. But the news article makes it look like they're reportedly, they've been working on this shit for 3 years, motherfucker. It's going to get released, okay? There's no doubt about that. When you got all these secret government laboratories and shit working on quantum, oh shit, it's coming. It's coming. It's not reportedly due. It's due. HSBC is reportedly due to launch an expansion. Oh, it's going to expand, all right, to the whole fucking world. The expansion of its tokenized deposit services. How nice. These people have no idea what's coming. We know what's coming. And we know what two cryptos they're going to use. And we know how they build it and who build it. And we know all about it. And I'm ready. That's why I'm almost overly confident now. It's like, I like having the answers to the test before I take the test. I like that. I'm cheating, okay? I'm giving you guys all the answers to the test before the test even occurs. Everybody else around the world, these people have no clue. I'm not making fun of people. These other channels have no clue. But my concern is not these other channels. My concern is you. You pay me the fucking money, and it's my job to come through and show you what you will not find anywhere else, okay? That's my fucking job. The global bank, HSBC, already offers that service in Hong Kong. Yes, they have. Singapore and the United Kingdom. MI6. Shh. And Luxembourg, and now plans to expand its corporate clients in the U.S., January, February, March, and the United Arab Emirates, beginning next year. Bloomberg News reported. HSBC, tokenized deposit service. Let's see what they talk about here. Lets clients send money locally across borders in seconds. And at all hours of the world. HSBC global head of payment solutions said. The topic is, you guys, what did I say we need to be rich? 2 things. Global crypto laws and regulations. What's the number 2 thing? Global tokenization. That's what we got here. That's why we're going to end up rich. Okay, let's continue. The topic of tokenization, stable coins, and digital money. See where this is all going? And digital currencies has obviously gathered so much momentum. We are making big bets in this space, said the head of HSBC. They're making bets. So am I with Canton Coin and Rise. So the fuck am I. I'm making a bet too. I doubled up my holdings on Rise. I didn't have that much. Now I got the same money, I think, in Rise as I do in Canton Coin now. I'm making my bets just like the head of HSBC. The report adds that the bank now processes transactions in euros, pounds, dollars, and Hong Kong dollars, and Singapore dollars, and will in United Arab Emirates dirhams next year, January, February, March, we read, when it expands to the Middle East. The launch is for the first half of 2026. As Bloomberg noted, see what we're seeing here, everybody, is these banks are getting ready for regulations. I don't know when we get them, but they're setting it up. They're showing us right here. I did the deep dive on it. I don't know when it happens. You just have to wait. It's like, shit, I'm already showing you what cryptos it is and about when shit happens. Some of you guys are way too fucking out of touch with, you want to know a date and time. That's so fucking, please don't be stupid like that. As Bloomberg noted, HSBC's move is happening at a time when many other banks have begun exploring. See, HSBC is in the process of launching. These other banks are in the process of what? Exploring. First mover advantage. Just like you with Canton Coin and Rise, we got first mover advantage. Everybody else, these other channels, they don't have a clue. These other banks are in the exploring phase of how digital assets can speed and streamline payments. It comes in the wake of the Genius Act, the United States, which establishes new rules for stablecoins, another rapidly growing category of digital money. Tokenized deposits are digital representations of a bank deposit backed one-to-one for money on the bank's balance sheet and issued using distributed ledger technology. Unlike a stablecoin issued by a non-bank, here we go, and held off balance sheet, a tokenized, this is what we're talking about, a tokenized deposit like Canton Coin and Rise and this HSBC coin remains fully regulated on balance sheets and subject to the usual banking liquidity, capital, and deposit insurance frameworks. So what we have here is we've got the Rise token we've invested in, Canton Coin, and this Canton Coin is going to be used for HSBC, and it's all in with the banks and regulators. That's what we want. We want in on a Canton Coin that's working with HSBC and all the world's global regulators. We're good to go. That crypto is regulated. That's what we want, okay? One that's audited, insured, working in the financial system, not like some kind of privacy shit on the outside, but a crypto that's right in there with all the regulators. Canton Coin is working with HSBC to pass global banking regulation. They're working with the BIS. We already discussed all this in the deep dive. The Canton Coin and this HSBC, the Bank of International Settlements, has been there the whole time. And all the biggest banks in the world are working on the Canton Coin, integrating in with this HSBC and the top world banks. This is exactly that's why I got Caleb Brown, because they got Fireblocks. And what is that? They're in with the biggest banks of the world. That's what I'm talking about. You don't want to have some other channels have this other crypto custody shit. You don't want that. You want the biggest and the best. But ours has insurance. Well, so does the Fireblocks. But what you want, why would you get a Hyundai with a 3 million mile warranty? Why don't you just get like a better car? Why don't you just get like the best car? Wouldn't that just make sense? I think I'll leave that article there. I don't want to overthink that one. That article's done. Let me check. Let me click out of that. So within that article and that deep dive we just did, we talked about Franklin Templeton. Let me show you again with Franklin Templeton. They're using the Canton coin. I mean, come on. Franklin Templeton's Benji technology platform expands to Canton network. There you go, right there. So what I'm showing you is in the news, you got one of the world's biggest banks working with Franklin Templeton for the HSBC token, which runs on the Canton network. We can go on and on. This is legit. Rise is the crypto that does the tokenization. So let me click out of those. Let me click out of that. Here is an example of Singapore. There's the Singapore government's website for quantum computing. That's who's involved. There's your Singapore government connection. Here is the secret government laboratory that I cannot really talk about. They're involved in this token. Here is the name of this laboratory that's secret that we can't really discuss. You could look up and do research on these laboratories on your own. I'm not going to be talking about them. It's going to set me up to get in trouble. Of course, you got the biggest defense contractor in the world involved in a cryptocurrency. Think about it. Right there. We've already gone over Lockheed Martin involved in quantum shit. I think it was like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. There's been like 2 or 3 cryptos that they're involved with. Get rid of that. Here is the Air Force Research Academy. It's on Wikipedia if you want to learn about what they do a little bit. They're not going to tell you everything, obviously. But this is also who's involved in this Canton coin, Rise, HSBC coin. Of course, you got NASA. We got that one. Okay, shit, we're at the 1 hour and 8 minute mark. Okay, that'll be a wrap. Let me check the comments here. Welcome to the Crypto Explosion 2024 is Recon Shah Iskander. He's already a $500 member. Okay. Then you got Roselle. Welcome to the entry-level membership. Now let me look through the comments real quick. It keeps getting buffered. Yeah, you're probably going to get that. I told you already. The show's going to get shadow banned. Canton Network and Quant Hyperledger are the base layers. Let's see. Yeah, your memberships will expire. YouTube shuts people off. So like Shah Iskander had a membership and then YouTube just decides at random to turn it off. think that's the only questions. So there you go. Can you deep dive eHive? I've never even heard of it. Wayne Williams. Let's see what good old Wayne Williams has to say. Just because I wanted to start a trend. Right on, man. Appreciate that. So you pretty much see what's going to happen is I'm showing you what's going to happen to all these banks, all the major banks. It starts at the top. So you're not going to have it. It's very rare, if ever. You're going to see like a BlackRock start, whatever. It's BlackRock started what they did, tokenization with treasuries or whatever. You're seeing one of the biggest banks in the world, HSBC. I'm showing you what they're doing. Every other bank down below is going to start copying. You're going to see a trend. Then it's going to happen globally. The gold is going to be massive in price because all these cryptos will be backed by gold. That's where this ends up. Gold's going to be massive. So I'll tell you what, though. Not me, 369. Thank you very much. Tax-free donations. So you know the two cryptos that they talk about, Canton in there and Hedera and some of these other ones. It's kind of like you got to get a certain amount of gold. I'm just letting you know. Don't just overdo this crypto shit. Millionaires out there, they're watching the show. Okay, here's the mentality that some people have. If I buy enough crypto, then it doesn't matter the cost of that crypto. I'll probably end up rich. Who's to say they don't switch from that one crypto to another? They can do that. Who's to say the government lets you hold certain cryptos? Do you have your crypto protected? Okay, through the Crypto Hawk lawyer. Is like if you have your crypto protected, a corporation will own your crypto. The government won't know it's you. They'll just know that some corporation owns X crypto right there. These are things that we have on the crypto channel to help you. I don't see the people in power just letting us be rich. There's going to be a struggle to be rich. They're going to want to keep it all for themselves. That's how this works. My programs, that's why my channel's so shadow banned. Because they don't want you guys to learn. They want you all fucking broke. They want all of us broke. So my show is one where I deep dive. I show you all the stuff that's happening. And there you go. I'm out of here. I'll try to make a show at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. And I'll see you then.